So, good morning, students. This is the part 2 video of, or you can say revision video of chapter 13. Why do we fall ill? So, in this talk today, we will study the second topic called means of spread. Disease can be spread through air, water, or sexual act, or you can also say it's a physical contact. Sexual act comes under the topic physical act. So we're discussing today means of spread. Now the next slide. The first one is through air. This occurs through the little droplets thrown out by infected person who sneezes or coughs. While coughing, some water drops comes out from your body and they spread the disease. Someone standing close by can breathe in these droplets and the microbes get chance to start a new infection, for example common cold, pneumonia and tuberculosis. That's why these people always should cough while keeping hand or handkerchief on their face, because to avoid the spread of disease through air, because air is the vector which transfer disease from infected person to healthy person. Next is through water. Through water, this occur if excreta from someone suffering from infectious gut. Gut means stomach. Okay. If having a bad stomach or not feeling well or infection in the stomach, disease get mixed with the drinking water used by people living nearby. For example, cholera, typhoid, jaundice, these are waterborne diseases. So these diseases spread by water. Okay, if something waste material is poured into the water, then these diseases have chances. If same water is drunk by someone, then they have chances of suffering from different kinds of diseases. Next is through sexual act. This occurs through physical contact between two people. One is infected and one is healthy one. So infected will pass the disease to healthy one by sexual act. Okay. They are microbial disease that are transmitted by sexual contact from one partner to other. So these kind of disease we call STD, sexually transmitted disease. So we having example of STDs are AIDS, syphilis, gonorrhea. Okay. So these disease spread through here in the, these are infections. You can see it's already entered in the body and it's causing damage of muscles, lesions in the skin. Okay, and continuous pus formation takes place. Next, what are the different principles we can use for treatment? The initial cause of the disease state may lie within the individual organism itself. So the first is the body is responsible for the disease. Okay, because the body can be weak or strong. If body is weak, there is a chances of infection. The disease is then said to be idiopathic, innate, primary or essential. So these things we will discuss in the next point. It may result from course of medical treatment, either as an unavoidable side effect or because the treatment itself was ill-advised. In either case, the disease is classed as a iatrogenic. So getting a disease is there are thousands of reasons. Okay, either you're not taking medicine properly. If you're taking medicine, then there are medicine side effect. Okay, the way of ill treatment means not treating well. So there are thousands of reasons. Innate means from childhood, from the birth you having the disease. That is called innate. So we move to next. There are two ways to treat the disease. Okay, there are two ways. First, one would be to reduce the effect of disease. If a person having very severe kind of disease, first we have to reduce the effect. The effect can be cause pain, okay, vomiting, lose motion. So that effect we have to reduce the first. Then plan B. Okay, plan A is to reduce the effect. Second plan, we have to kill the causes of disease. Okay, so in kill the causes of disease, we first what we do? First, we can provide treatment that will reduce the symptom that already we discussed. For X medicine, bring down fever, reduce pain. For the later use medicine to kill microbes, can be bacteria, fungi, virus. Same thing is explained. So in second phase, they use antibiotics to kill the bacteria. Prevention of disease. So what are the different methods we can prevent the disease? So disease prevention is deferral or elimination of specific illness and condition by one or more interventions of proven efficacies. It is useful to distinguish among the three levels of prevention: primary, secondary, and tertiary treatment. So we have divided the treatment into three categories: primary treatment, secondary treatment, and tertiary treatment. Depends upon the symptoms or the intensity of a person disease. So in primary prevention, what we do, okay, before their biological onset, for example, pasteurizing milk essentially eliminates the bacteria pathogen. Pasteurizing means heating the milk, okay, cause illness. And measles immunization prevent clinical illness before it get. So sometimes what happens, we don't wait for infection. What we do vaccination, immunization. Already we generate certain weak germs in our body, and our WBC cells kill them. So they be prepared for any infection. It is called preparatory stage. Next, secondary stage. In secondary prevention refers to clinical illness through the early and asymptomatic detection, remediation certain disease condition that if left undetected would likely become clinically apparent and harmful. This is often referred to as screening. There are many examples of secondary disease prevention, including routine bacteriological culturing for sexually transmitted organisms in asymptomatic, routine serological testing for preclinical infections such as syphilis. So once you having a mild symptoms, then we go for test. That test we call as screening. Okay. So if we like in corona, we having a 72 hours. If corona is detected in 72 hours, it can be cured easily. But after 72 hours, it is difficult to cure the corona. So secondary prevention means the screening or testing. Okay. The last one we are having tertiary prevention. In tertiary prevention refers to prevention of disease progression and additional disease complications after clinical disease are manifested. Lowering high blood cholesterol level after heart attack can be prevented. So once we analyze that person having a high blood pressure, now what steps we can do to prevent them, okay, to stop them. So in that case, we have to avoid the oily substance, okay, while eating. So it will reduce the high blood pressure. So tertiary prevention means after the screening, the steps we taking care to reduce the effect of any disease. That is called tertiary prevention. So here we finish the video. Thanking you for listening me. Okay, thank you and have a nice day.